Hey, welcome to another art time-lapse video. This time we're going to take a look at these weapon concepts I worked on the other day. So I started off with the pistol here, and as you can see I put up some references, and it's really important to get the texture down like as early as possible, really, especially when you're working on normal layers and you want to get it just that layered sort of weathering down. I also made the choice to make the handle engraved, and because it's a pistol of the Colonial Rebellion, of course there needs to be a unicorn. So I went and I traced an earlier artwork of mine, added some florals, and really worked in that sort of engraved texture before moving on and giving the wood more dimension. The metal was really fun to work with, working in both those highlights and the ambient occlusion that creates the real dark shadows. And of course, because this is an Adamas oriented pistol, we had to get the magic in there and make sure that the Adamas ore was in and glowing. So I blocked that in with some blues and kept working in the highlights very slowly. Got to get that glow going on with finally some color dodge layers to pop it out, and some overlay. I really like using overlay layers as well. So with some final ambient occlusion adjustments here and there, the pistol is about done. I hopped in on a lighten layer to give us some of that skylight and give us some more shine to it, and there you have it, the pistol. After the pistol, I took to working on the Atom Steel axe, which I took a previous rendition of to trace over and adjust. I wanted to again do some engraving things with it, and instead of doing it on its own layer, I actually did most of the engraving bit right on the line layer. I've been getting used to and in the habit of using that line layer as part of my ambient occlusion. Because it's there, and ambient occlusion is edges, and that's what really kind of gives us that sense of edge. Again, I'm working in textures really early, just big, soft, spatter, messy, organic look, because I know it's layered and it's going to build on one another. I'm really focusing on the direction of light, which is sort of coming from above, and getting in those little details. Just like not worrying, not fussing, just making sure that the lighting is consistent and coming from a consistent direction, which is probably the hardest thing. Once again, I take to the Adamas, and I put that on its own layer so that I can make adjustments to the glow on the Adamas ore inside. It's just easier to keep it on its own. And then finally I pull in that lighten layer with the bright blue, cut it back a little bit to give us that skylight look. And the axe is finished. On to the Sabre. The Sabre was probably the most challenging for me, I feel like. One, because I get really frustrated with any kind of straight lines. So I gave up and I just made a box and kind of hand adjusted it. Which, sometimes you just have to do that. Like, use the shape tools when you just can't draw a straight line. Because I didn't want any of my lines to really show on the blade anyway. And then I went into just painting over, the delicate and long process of painting over the lines, which was very fun for this kind of shape around the handle. It is very important to make sure that the planes of the handle were understood, so I went in with a big brush and knocked that out, and then worried about highlights last. And then with the blade, it was just a matter of how do I want this reflection to look, and it took me quite a bit of playing to figure out how I wanted that to show, because I didn't really have anything reflecting on it. And of course, me wanting to do some engraving there, because I like the engraving. And the color dodge layer for the nice brightness on the shine there. So there you have it, my finished weapons. If you like this video and you'd like to see more art time lapses, please like and subscribe. These weapons are concepts from a novel-style webcomic I'm working on with Knox. Please consider also supporting our Patreon for more world building and concept art content. Until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.